It's not too windy, so I'm going to just try talking through the GoPro, so apologies for the sound, but you get GoPro sound. Today's travel is going to be with our lovely mini Shetland here, Tuna, and this is our very first trip off the farm and away from home, and we're going to do a big scary bridge right off the get-go. Those of you that are curious, we are in Avon, New York, and this is the Erie Attica Trail. And yes, it is wide open for anybody who is a driver. Highly recommend Rochester, New York. If you are a horse owner, and especially a carriage driver, we have plenty of trails that are horse-friendly and carriage-friendly. And it's my girl, stay on the path. Tuna is 4 years old. She has less than 50 rides, or 50 drives underneath her. She is a rock star. Love this pony. This is the one that I bought myself, so me and my old butt, we can retire together and do lots of adventures. Because as you get older, you don't necessarily want to be on the back of an animal that can chuck you off. You want to be kicked in the face by one. Show you guys what we're doing. We're going over the Genesee River. Oh, you're such a good pony. Good job. All right, so the question today is, should I board my horse at a farm, or should I own a farm and bring my horse home? Pros and cons. Pro, your pony's in your backyard. You wake up every morning, go to bed every night, and you get to see them. You get to see what you're spending your money on. It's fantastic. You can also be sure to give them the best care and the care that you want, not what a boarding facility is going to mandate. You can put all your cameras up and spy at them at every waking minute of the day. You get to go shopping, get the feed you want, get the hay you want, give them all the supplements you want, give them at the times of day you want. You have lots and lots of control if you are having your animals at home. And a lot of people are like, well, at home, well, now I can't just have one horse. I gotta have two horses because he needs a buddy, because socialization we love to have. Well, here's a fun thing. You go and ride your very first horse that you bought and have been boarding forever and you brought home away to go on like this, and his buddy is now home alone and losing his shit. Excuse my language. In case you're wondering, this is not a kid-friendly channel. I swear. You took your bestie out for a trail ride. He left his buddy at home. His buddy's losing his nuts and blasted a fence, degloves a leg, rips his tail off. Who knows what, you know. Attempts to commit suicide in multiple ways, shape, or form. So now you're like, well, geez, I can't just have two horses. I now need three. The horse that I just left at home has a friend. You went with a mini because, hello, you're watching this channel and you're like, minis are awesome. According to this lady, that's a big fat lie. This thing's a dick. Yeah, you're mini. Now that you bought as a companion for the second horse, which is a companion for the horse that you really want, now decides to destroy fence on you. And instead of riding on the next day, you're home fixing all of your fencing. So yeah, bring your horses home. They're fantastic. You'll now end up having to pay the same amount of money for boarding one horse as you do three to have sanity on your farm. Day in the life. Boarding facility versus home. Home? Wake up. The alarm clock goes off, also known as the rooster, which you thought was a good idea, you know, because you have a farm, so you have to have chickens, but you bought pullets, but three of them turned out to be roosters, but you can't bring yourself to kill them because, hello, they're animals too. So now you have three roosters crowing at 4 o'clock in the morning, waking your ass up. Whatever. The horses are now screaming for food anyways. Drink down a pot of coffee, go out at 5 o'clock in the morning and feed everybody. Actually, you did go out at 4 a.m. because one of the ones that you're feeding now has ulcers and has to get UGuard, and you have to feed that an hour before they eat. So you did go out at 4 o'clock when the rooster crowed, so you could technically feed at 5. We got a little downhill. Walk. I want you to walk over the crunchy stuff. So horses are fed. You got a whole barn to muck out. You got everything you need to do. You still can't even think about going for a ride yet, but you look outside and it has the most beautiful red sunrise, and you're just like, hello, I'd rather be on a trail watching the sunrise. But you finish up your chores. You finally pack your trailer because you're like, man, I gotta get out and do something. And you're like, screw it. You know what? I ain't even mucking stalls. Heck, I'm not even going to turn them out. I'm going to let them suffer in stalls. And I'm taking the one I want, like I did today. And we're going for a ride. Then we'll come home and do all of our chores. So that's if you have your own farm. If you're boarding, you would have woken up whatever the heck you felt like it. Or, for some silly reason, you woke up early, you saw blood red sunrise, and you're like, heck yeah, barn, let's go for a ride immediately. But pretty much, it's the sleep-in aspect of it. Somebody else had to wake up at ass o'clock and give your horse U-guard before they fed it. And you're like, oh my God, I got a bargain. I'm only paying $4.50 a month. Oh, good girl. Is this scary? You just went over a bridge. Yeah, good girl. You can go forward. Do you need me to come out and help? I can come out and help if you need. Oh, don't run away. Don't run away. I'll come out and help. Come on. Good job. Who knew that was going to be the scary part of our drive? You want to come smell it? You want to see what it is? Yeah, it's concrete. It's not exciting, is it? Yeah, good job. And good girl. All right. One reason I like the Hyperbike, I can pet them and reassure them and say they're good ponies. And then eat all the hair that comes off their butt. Horses at home versus horses at a boarding stable. Depending on your budget, you probably just purchased a house with enough land that was allowed to own a horse. You bought an Amish run-in shed and you threw it in your backyard. Yeehaw! Yeah, went and put up just enough fencing to make sure that you can keep the horses in a confined area. Then you panic because you're like, oh crap, hey, where do I get that? Horses home. You now have 3 of them because that's the bare minimum you need to make sure they stay in their fencing. And you feed them and they're going through about $400 worth of food a month, not to mention the fact that you just had to pay for a farm and taxes and fencing and buildings. And in case you're wondering, that boarding is starting to look pretty good all of a sudden. Boarding facility. You stretch, you get out of bed, it's about 9 a.m. You're like, hot dog, this is early, I'm going to go for a morning ride. You get to the barn, your horse is already wherever it's supposed to be, your tack is in a clean locker. Catch your horse, you go to the wash stall, you clean them off, you get them all groomed up, tacked up, $250,000 arena that they have, which is just bare bones because money doesn't go as far as it did before 2020. At home, your saddle's sitting in your living room because you haven't built a barn yet. Your husband is now pissed, is wondering what the hell they just got themselves into because now your whole dining room has got hooks in it and all of your tack is sitting in there because you don't want it outside in the garage. Because it'll get moldy and rodents, and I don't have a secure place to have it anymore. So now you catch your pony, which is now in just a mud pit of a pasture because, you haven't been able to go out and afford to do mud management on it yet. You're not quite sure where to tack up, so you tie them to the driving mirror of your car, and you saddle up, and you're like, no, riding! Backyard seems like a great idea to go riding, because it's about all you got available at the moment, because you haven't built a ring. Alright, what else have we got to say about boarding versus, the biggest thing. Boarding versus keeping your pony at home. Do you enjoy traveling? As in, does your family go on vacations? Do you want to leave for any reason whatsoever longer than 24 hours? If the answer is yes, board your horse. It is so difficult to find a good farm sitter. If you do find a good farm sitter, pay them what they're worth, which is your peace of mind. If you are interested in a good business opportunity, become a farm sitter. Build a business around that. Somebody gets married in your family and you need to leave for a long weekend? Yeah, stressful as heck. Yeah, if you're at a boarding facility and you want to take off to Vegas for a couple of days, just hop on a plane and go. No big deal. Somebody's watching your horse anyways. You get sick, like the flu? Holy cow. If you're down and out and can't do chores, doesn't matter. Get up, get out of bed, and do chores. I can't begin to tell you how many times I have puked doing chores or crapped my pants doing chores because I've been sick. There's a lot of crying in owning a farm. I'm not going to be ashamed to say that. You have a good constitution for just dealing with stupid, own a farm. If you are of an engineering mindset where you can fix and MacGyver anything with duct tape, baling twine, and some wire, own a farm. If you like to spend all your money on cool tack and bling bling and all that stuff, and board your horse. If you have a full-time job, full family, and you don't have time to take off of work for things like vet checks, dentist, farrier visit, just board your horse. Good morning. It is. It is. All right, that's a wrap up. So, pros for staying, keeping horses at home, full control over the care, get to see them every morning. Cons, cost them way more than boarding. You can't travel because you need to find people. I gotta tell you, in the winter months, I still like to board my horse. I want to access that arena. I want to keep, working my horses in the winter, even though they might be in my backyard. Plan accordingly. That's a wrap for today. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or would like to suggest a topic, comment below, and we'll see you next time.